underneath my breath, night swimming.
That is Night Swimming from REM right here on FM 88.3 WHCM Harper College Radio. My name is Brian Shelton, and it is Tuesday, and it is 2 o'clock. And that can only mean one thing. It is time for Harper Talks right here on WHCM. My guest today is the Dean of Students here at Harper College, Dr. Travaris Harris. How are you doing today?
I am well. How are you, Brian?
I'm doing great. You got a great voice for radio, you know that?
I was just thinking the same thing about you. But thank you.
That's so sweet. I got a face for radio too, but that's okay. So what is going on at Harper College that you are excited about today? I know that's a big ask right this second, but what are you most excited about today? What's happening?
Well, actually, I'm most excited. Tomorrow we have the Higher Learning Commission, HLC group coming. And this is a mock visit. It's not the formal visit that comes in March, but we have some student ambassadors I've been working with Dr. Kelly Page from physics with. And we've trained the students to sort of host the reviewers as they come on campus.
Right.
They'll teach them about the campus, the resources, their student experience. So it's going to be great. I'm really excited about it.
You're really excited about it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, me too, actually. I'm really excited. I've been working with the Higher Learning Commission team on assessment for, I don't know, but I guess about 2 years now. And it seems like we've been doing assessment since the minute I got here. I don't know, or HLC since the minute I got here. So that's kind of fun. So tell us, you are the Dean of Students at Harper College, but you did not start out as the Dean of Students at Harper College. You started, if I remember correctly, as a counselor here, correct? Tell us about that.
Yes. So back in 2002, I began here as a counselor in the Center for Multicultural Learning. So I work with students on academic advising, counseling. I was the advisor for the Latinos Unidos student club for more than 10 years. I helped advise the Black Student Union. And I also created a Reach Summer Bridge program, and it was a summer transition program that helped about 120 students transition from high school to Harper each fall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And so when did you transition from being a counselor to being the Dean of Students? That's a big leap, yeah?
It is a huge leap. So, yes. It was February 2015. I made the transition.
All right.
So about 2.5 years, I've been in the dean role.
Okay. So you, if I remember correctly, you started in that position as an interim position and then transitioned into the full-time job, yeah?
Correct. For about 1.5 years, I was interim dean of student affairs. Okay. And it took them about 18 months to figure out if they liked me enough to make me.
Now, besides switching from casual wear to suits,
yes.
What has been the biggest difference for you, the biggest change in your daily life?
I think losing control of my daily life, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, I think before, I had some flexibility. I had my student appointments, but, I could kind of tailor my day the way I needed to. And now my day is not mine. Student issues come up, and I have to respond immediately. And as you might imagine, with about 15,000 credit students, there are student issues regularly.
Right.
And I have to pretty much drop everything at some point, sometimes to respond to those needs. But it's okay because it's all to support students,
Yeah, and then I imagine a constant barrage of email as well, right?
I could not tell you how many emails I get on a daily basis, but it's a lot.
In a former life, I was president of the faculty association at another school, and that's all I did all day long when I was in that job was answer email and go to meetings and listen to people be upset. And so, I know what you're talking about. So it's been nice going back to just being, full-time faculty all the time, and my email count is very low. It's nice. It's nice. I mean, there's still a lot, but yeah.
And I'm jealous.
And you're jealous, yeah. So tell us what exactly is involved in the role of being Dean of Students. I know part of that is being Title IX coordinator along with some other folks here on campus, which is a very important part. We talked to Teresa Craig a couple of weeks ago about what Title IX means and how that affects students at the college. But tell us the big picture, what your role as Dean of Students is.
Sure. So I have several areas I'm responsible for: athletics, student conduct, Center for Student Involvement, the Veterans Center, events programming or events management, and health services.
Okay.
So
that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Now, I personally, I see my role as really being responsive to students and really trying to help students have a good experience. And I think the areas that I'm responsible for, we really work diligently to try to ensure that happens. Now, certainly, student experiences, they vary. Some students have an excellent experience, some not so much. But I really strive to make sure, as much as possible, they all see Harper as a place that supports them and is there for them. I can't solve the parking problem. I get that all the time.
Get the parking garage now. Come on. What's the problem? Yeah.
Well, my stance is we don't have a parking problem at Harper, which students think. We have a preferred parking problem.
Right.
So if students go to the north side of campus, there's always parking there, but that's not where students want to go
park,
because parking lot 2 is closer to L building and probably where the English 101 class or speech class is.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you're not in charge of parking?
You know what? Students think I am.
I wish that you were. I think that would be great.
Other duties as assigned.
As assigned. That's right. So what part of the this is not a good question to ask, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What is the part of your job that you like the best? Because it is a different job than what you had before. So have you lost? I guess a better way to ask that question is, have you lost that connection with the students, or do you still have it?
To some extent, I have, and that's the piece I probably like the least. Right. I worked one-on-one with students on a daily basis for many, many years, and I enjoyed it. I'm passionate about it. It's, I went to school to get a counseling degree so that I could help students, right? And I don't necessarily get there very often, and I miss it. But I do get to affect policy now, and I get to impact students on a greater level. And it's a level they don't always see because they aren't in the meetings with me or rooms with me, but I get to be a voice of students where sometimes the student voice is not always present. So it's nice to represent.
Yeah, a good chance to represent that student voice there. But you gotta get back with the students though. You gotta find a way to get in the grind a little bit. Yeah.
Well, maybe they'll let me hang around the radio station a little more often.
You're welcome here anytime. Although I don't think you'd really want to hang around the radio station. So yeah. No, I'm just kidding. They're all right. They're all right. They're driving me a little nuts today, but they're all right. So, in the position there as Dean of Student Affairs, you deal with a lot of pleasant stuff, like fun stuff, like when our athletic teams are doing really well. That's got to be great, right? I mean,
it is.
Yeah.
So I get to peek in, and when we had the M building open, and when it opens again, my office was right outside of the pool, so I got to go and see the water polo team practicing, which they're national champions.
Right.
I go out and I see the track team, the cross country team practicing, basketball team. All of those things are great. So I do get some of that student experience, not as much as I'd like, but Erin Moretis, who does a great job with our student program, and I get to go to Hullabaloo, which she plans outside, and things like that occasionally. But on the conduct side, and the Title IX side, I get some of the not so pleasant.
Yeah, I was going to say that's got to be the part of the job that's not really fun, right? I mean, you get to use your counseling background more there, though, right?
Yeah.
So
and it really does help.
Yeah.
Because some of these issues are they impact students in a very deep and personal way. And it's not always easy to have those conversations, but the counseling helps. And I think more often students just want to feel heard. They want to feel supported. They want to feel like someone is there for them. And that's what I try to do for all students. Even when it's a conduct issue and, they just did something they shouldn't have done, I try to support them. Because usually if those things are happening, there's usually a root cause.
Yeah, there's a trigger there somewhere,
Correct,
right? Yeah, there's something else going on.
Right. And it could be that they just didn't do well in Professor Shelton's class. And, that happens too, right?
No, everyone does well in my class. No, I don't know. We try. Yeah. So outside of that, you mentioned Building M.
Yes.
Now, you got Building M going, which involves athletics, so it involves you. And then we're supposed to be remodeling this building, which will be the Canning Center.
Yes.
Tell me about those two projects. What's exciting about Building M first? Tell me what's going on there, and then tell me about the exciting new remodel of the Student Center. Can you do that for me?
Sure.
Yeah.
So Building M, very excited. All students, credit, full-time and part-time students will have a fitness center membership.
Right.
So the building will open fall of next year, and state-of-the-art fitness center will have an elevated walking track, which I'm personally excited about.
Yeah.
We'll have a new pool that will be completely renovated, and I'm excited to see our water polo team compete in there. And as I mentioned, they beat I didn't mention this part, but they beat DePaul last year in the national championship. Bragging rights, right?
We had some DePaul faculty here visiting us last night. So
that's
yeah,
right,
I should have. Yeah.
So bragging rights next time you see them.
Yeah.
But really just seeing all of the activity that's coming. We also are adding an extension to the building. And I'm not sure if everyone is aware, but we'll have Northwest Community Hospital will be putting an ambulatory care facility adjacent immediately to in-building. So connected, but not completely immersed in the building.
Right.
And, that's really exciting, I think, for students. Sometimes we have students who need healthcare needs while they're on campus, and they have a space right here for that.
And with that, I don't know if you know the details of this. Will our health career programs be able to interact with that? Are they going to provide opportunities for them, or?
That's actually an excellent question.
Okay.
Yes. So,
you're nodding, but I wasn't sure.
See, I have to remember I'm on radio.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So yes, our health career students, nursing students, imaging technology students, they'll have opportunities to do internships, which I'm also excited about. And also, we have a faculty member who's working on. He's creating a new personal training program here.
Okay.
And students who are in the personal training program will come right over to the fitness center. They'll be personal trainers for faculty, staff, community members, whomever is utilizing the facility and wants a trainer. Students will be able to practice their craft while being monitored by a certified personal trainer, but then they get that hands-on experience. So it'll be great. I'm really excited about those opportunities.
Yeah, I think that building is really neat. What a cool partnership with the hospital and also with the Palatine Park District and with the school. So you have these three organizations in the community coming together to make a resource happen that the three organizations themselves couldn't have done on their own. I think that's really exciting. We were talking to Dr. Ender last year about that building, and his eyes light up when he talks about it. And, I think it's really exciting. I think that it's a big challenge for a college campus. And I think that for a college campus like Harper, I think it shows the dynamism of this campus, that we're willing to take on big challenges and opportunities like that, whereas other campuses might not be positioned to do that in other organizations. So I think that's really cool. It's neat that you get to be a part of that. Are you walking through the building while they're doing construction, or are they keeping you out?
Well, I went in last week and probably to some areas I shouldn't have gone because they were dangerous, but I had my hard hat, so I felt protected. But the building is great. I'm really excited. I can't wait for students to walk in.
What's the target date?
Well, move in August 1st. However, at the beginning of the first day of the semester is when the building opens for business.
Oh, man, that is so exciting. Yeah. That is so exciting, isn't it?
Absolutely. I'm very excited.
I'm jazzed. I'm looking forward to using the fitness facility there, so that'll be great.
And we have a cycling room, too, which will be pretty cool.
Ooh, I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, we need that. Now, we're in Building A here on campus, which I think Building I, Building J, and Building A, for those people who know the college campus, are probably the most, I hate to use the phrase run down, but the buildings in need of the most love.
They're the most mature buildings.
They're the most mature buildings, yes. And so Building A, which we're in, the Student Center, was supposed to be remodeled almost 3 years ago now, and then got caught up in the state budget. I'll use the term fiasco because I think that's a good description for it, and I can do that. I have tenure. But it was, quite the fiasco for colleges and universities across the state who rely on that funding, and so that project's been delayed. But now it's back on, right? And so, what are we looking to kind of break ground on that? What's the goal?
Well, unfortunately, we do not have a break ground date.
Okay.
Because our governor does have to release the funds.
Oh, he's got to sign the check, right?
He has to sign the check, right? So the money is approved and the budget is approved, and I'm very excited. But until he signs off, we don't actually get to break ground. But once he signs off, we'll create a timeline and we'll start working on the new WHCM space, and we'll have a new hospitality institute, which I'm very excited about because our hospitality students make very good food. I probably eat too much of it, but it's great. And we'll also have space for student meeting space. We'll have everything in one building, financial aid, registration, academic advising, and counseling. So really everything that sort of one-stop idea that students need, all of the student service pieces, and also the events programming spaces that'll be in the building will all be centrally located.
Yeah. And so it's going to be the Canning Center, correct?
The Canning Center.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit of the background of that?
Sure. And I think, that's probably one of Laura Brown, who is over the foundation, her projects. But Rita and John Canning, they've been very, very good friends to Harper College, and they've donated to our Women's Center, and they've really added to the offerings there. And they also made a pretty significant donation to Harper College. And in return, Dr. Ender decided that it would be a good gesture to name the building the new one-stop center, the Rita and John Canning Center, after them. And I think it's certainly appropriate because they've contributed to our student experience. And some of you mentioned the budget fiasco, I'm using your words, right? In the state of Illinois. Well, part of the reason Harper continues to thrive, I think, even facing budget cuts, is kind donations from some of our community members and leaders. And we appreciate that, and we like, their contributions to Harper and to our student experience here.
Yeah,
so
I think that people in the community who have been a part of the Harper community, and they're part of the larger community, I think they see the value that Harper College offers to our students and to the community as a whole, and that Harper tries to be a good steward of the community's dollars, our tax dollars, property tax dollars, that sort of thing. And we invest that money directly here, and so it certainly benefits everyone who lives in this region. I moved to this region almost 4 years ago now, and the benefits of Harper College, you can see it everywhere. And every time you talk to anybody, you say, "Oh, I work at Harper College," the reaction is, "Oh yeah, Harper, my sister went there, or I went there, or my son goes there." And it's always positive. Yeah, I have never in this community experienced a bad word about this campus or about the people who work here. So it's been a great thing to come work here for that. So
that's what we strive for.
That's what we strive for. We are going to take a quick 60-second break, and we will be back with Dr. Travaris Harris on 88.3 WHCM.
For over 70 years, Smokey Bear has asked you to use fire responsibly.
Fire is due to an unattended campfire.
Go time.
Here's how you can stay on the front lines of preventing wildfires. Always watch your campfire. Before leaving, drown it, stir it, drown it again, and feel that the fire is out cold.
Oh, bullseye!
And you won't need a visit from Dusty's team.
Copy that.
Visit SmokeyBear.com for more fire prevention tips. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state foresters, and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's your man Keith Maurice from the Keith Maurice Show, going 2 hours long, 2 hours strong, playing nothing but the hottest music. So make sure you rock with me every Mondays from 10 to 12 right here on 88.3 WHCM, HarperRadio.com.
It only takes a minute to find out if you may have prediabetes, and you can do it at doihaveprediabetes.org. But you're probably not going to, are you? Kids, work, listening to the radio. You're busy, which is great because busy people can't get prediabetes. Oh my, I read that wrong. They can. Should have worn my glasses. So visit doihaveprediabetes.org and take a short test, because prediabetes can be reversed.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
We are back on FM 88.3 WHCM, Harper College Radio. This is Harper Talks. I'm your host, Brian Shelton, and my guest today is Dr. Travaris Harris, who is the Dean of Students here at Harper College. We've been talking about all the exciting things that are going on in the areas of student involvement and student conduct and new construction going on and all that fun kind of stuff. And we briefly mentioned that we have the Higher Learning Commission coming for a site visit soon, but we have a mock site visit coming on Wednesday, and Dr. Harris is involved in that. I wanted you to talk to us a little bit about that, but I also wanted to talk about first, we are celebrating the 50th anniversary at Harper College. You said you came here in 2002, okay? Right. So what are some of your really cool memories or stories about coming to work at Harper College? You must have some that are safe for radio and safe for your position as a dean. There must be some great stories. What is one of the neatest thing that's happened to you while you were here? What's been fun?
So, I mean, it's a very cliche answer, but I'd say everything is fun. But one of probably my favorite things to do, and unfortunately we don't do it anymore, but we used to do a student retreat where we took a group of students to Lake Geneva, which it's kind of hard not to have fun at Lake Geneva.
Sure,
right?
yeah.
But it was actually a very intensive training. We talk about social justice issues dealing with multiculturalism and diversity, and really how that impacts their student experience at Harper.
Right.
And one night, so we were right on Lake Geneva. I think it's 26.2 miles around the whole lake.
Okay.
And I had a group of students who decided they were going to walk around the lake because for some reason, they didn't know how big the lake was. And in their minds, they thought they could take maybe an hour and stroll around. So about 2:30 in the morning with police officers, I finally caught up with them, and they were probably 8 to 10 miles into the trip, thinking, when are they going to make it back to the camp? Well, needless to say, they got escorted back to the camp.
Right.
But it's a lot of fun, and it was innocent. They weren't trying to be unruly. They just thought they could take a leisurely stroll. And probably every year when we did the retreat was one of my favorite times because I got to really spend a whole weekend with students just learning about them, their interests, and really giving back and gaining from them as well. And I think I learned more from them than they learned from me, to be honest.
Yeah, whenever you get a chance to go to a conference or something like that with students, or a retreat or anything like that, you learn so much from them, and you kind of form a bond with that group of students, and you wind up knowing that group or a couple out of that group for a long, long time after that, even long after they leave the school. So I think that's always fun. We were talking to, I've mentioned this every time on the show for the last couple of weeks now, but we had Greg Harrogist on the show a few weeks ago from the English department, and he was talking about how they brought Kurt Vonnegut onto campus one semester, and some fun stories about that. Can you remember somebody who was brought onto campus that really kind of impressed you? Or you were like, wow, that person's here at Harper? Is there one of those stories for you?
Yeah, and actually, I think over the years we brought quite a few people here. For me, it's actually not anyone super famous, but Dr. Gilo Kwesi. He used to actually teach as an adjunct here at Harper, and he I think is at Northeastern Illinois now as a faculty member, but he really came here and talked about his experiences. He's traveled the world, and he's done a lot of humanitarian work and really talking about giving back. And I think, sometimes we talked about my schedule earlier, one of the things I miss is opportunities to really give back and spend times at feeding our starving children. I try to do that once a year. But I really appreciated him bringing that humanitarian piece to Harper and really reminding me that I need to do more to give back to our community because they give so much to us, as we've mentioned earlier.
Right. So we have the Higher Learning Commission coming, and for those who are listening to us now and don't know what that is, that's an accrediting body that decides whether we're cool or not, essentially, and whether our credits transfer and all that fun kind of stuff. And we're doing a mock visit on Wednesday. Can you tell us what that entails and what that means for you?
Yes, so the mock visit, they'll come here, they'll talk to different groups, faculty members, students, members who were part of the team who actually prepared the document. And really, they're trying to make sure that what we put in our document we're actually doing here. We're actually providing the type of education. Our faculty have the credentials to teach, journalism or mass communications or math, English, etc. We aren't bringing me in to teach physics, for example. Wouldn't be a good look. Never took a physics class, not a science guy. I probably shouldn't be teaching students how to build a catapult.
Right.
But really just trying to make sure that we are operating with integrity and our credentials of our faculty are intact, and also the programs are appropriate for our student population and student body.
Well, sounds like not fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a 38,000 word document. We have to pare it down to 35,000 words eventually, but right now I think it's around 38,000 plus words.
Yeah.
So yeah, massive document, but
I remember in the old days you have giant file cabinets full of stuff when they would come to visit, and they'd pour through all that, and now it's done online, so it's a little bit different. So hey, speaking of fun, what do you do when you're not here? What's fun?
And it's funny, you asked me about some of my memories, and I probably should have shared this too, but So the students, the Latinos Unidos Student Club, they do a show every December, first Friday in December, and it's called Sabor Latino. And I actually, with some other faculty members, danced in the show. I don't really like mentioning it publicly because it's on YouTube. So now I just put it on the radio. That was great, right?
We're going to link to that.
Clearly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So me, a few other faculty members, we danced in the show. So I actually, believe it or not, I like to salsa dance, bachata, merengue. Because I worked with the club so long, I started to pick up some of those cultural elements. Not that I'm great at it, but in my head, I'm the best.
Yeah, well, yeah, as long as nobody can see you, it's fantastic, right? Yeah.
And at home in the mirror, I'm the only judge, and I give myself 10s across the board.
Yeah, man. I sing in the shower, and boy, do I have a great voice in the shower.
Barry Manilow.
Yeah, the dogs start barking, but that's all right. Well, that's cool. That's great to hear. Well, I really appreciate you coming on today and taking the time out of what I know is a really busy schedule to come and talk to us on Harper Talks. And I hope that the site visit goes well tomorrow. I'll be there at some point to check things out myself because I'm involved in that. And we look forward to having you on the show again sometime.
I look forward to coming back, and thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks for all that you do. You've been listening to Harper Talks on FM 88.3 WHCM Harper College Radio. I'm Brian Shelton, and we'll be back next week at 2 o'clock with more Harper Talks.